Hello, it's me. What? I am so happy to be here. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining us here on LinkedIn Live. And I know many of you are joining us via YouTube and Facebook, but we're here in LinkedIn Live today. And in a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a very, very special guest in celebration of International Women's Month. But as you begin to log on, just post a comment, say hi, let us know where you're from. And it's a great day. You know, someone asked me, Simon, how are you doing? I said, what? I am testing negative and staying positive. That's how I'm doing. So what about you? How are you doing? What's going on in your world? So I am so excited. So I'll give you a little backstory before I do the formal interview of Miss Regina Fleming. We met a few years ago at the Engaging Luxury Wedding Conference, the Engaged Luxury Wedding Conference. And I've spoken there many years. And you know how you go to a conference and you meet somebody and you just like instantly connect, right? And Regina felt like my sister, my long lost sister, and just a wonderful human being, big heart, great spirit. Even though she lives in New York, I would say she's wicked smart, like very intelligent. And then I had to speak at another event for the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And she was there because she's a member of AKA, a really cool sorority. Hey, Denise Dickens from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us. So Regina was there and just snapping away and just a wonderful, wonderful person and leader. So in a moment, you get a chance to be introduced to her. But I just wanted to just say, listen, wherever you are right now, remember, you are absolutely positively brilliant. We celebrate you wherever you are in life, and just want to just remind you that you matter, and we care about you and how you're doing. All right. So with that said, all right, I'm gonna have to read. So the team set me up because we didn't want to leave anything out when we introduced the fabulous Miss Regina Fleming. So Regina is a former model and actress, currently residing in New York City as a photographer, motivational speaker, and certified holistic health coach. I can't wait to hear about this because I put on a few COVID pounds and I need to lose them. She's the CEO of Regina Fleming Photography and is an get this, 8-time international award winner that's passionate about capturing real life. So let's bring her on in, Miss Regina. Regina Fleming in the house.
Hi, Simon. How are you?
There. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for that great introduction. I felt your energy here in New York City.
Yes. And how is it in New York City right now? Inquiring minds want to know.
Listen, I'm not going to complain because today it's supposed to be 70. Like, we haven't seen 70 this year, but it's supposed to be 70. So
Okay.
I'm feeling good. Spring is in the air.
Awesome. All right, let's dive right in. How did you get into being a model and an actress? What's the backstory?
So the backstory is, oh my God, it seems so long ago. So the backstory is such that I went to high school for arts and humanities. So I love the arts. We had great teachers, and it's a public high school, took us to the theater. And I was like, I could do that. And that's what happened. But my mom was always like, well, go to college first. So I was late into like becoming a professional in it. You know, they started at like 14. I was late, starting after college, but I would dabble. I was always in plays and things like that. And then I realized that I was cute.
If you might say so yourself, right?
I might say so myself, but somebody wanted to pay for it. But pay me, to wear that clothes, that's fine. But literally, you know how motivational you are, and you and you tell people, remind people of who they are and what they can do. So I have a quick story about this, is that literally, I think if you take my height, I'm like 5'4".
Okay.
And I was with Wilhelmina models. I was one of, if not the shortest model that they had there. And they started like 5'9". So this is called Belief in Yourself. It's called Where Opportunity Meets Luck and the Right People. And I modeled for 20 years.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
wow.
And before that, as a model, what I said was I would see the different photographer, and I love the arts. Remember, I went to high school for arts and humanities. I then went on to college to become an attorney, but that's a whole nother story we'll talk about later. But the thing was, with the arts, I noticed that when people would photograph me, I would say, like, why do I look this way when I'm at this photographer? And when I go here, I look this way. So I went to a Fashion Institute of Technology and took one photography class, black and white, in a dark room, you know, looking at my image rise on the paper. I almost turned on the light because I was so excited. You know, you don't turn on the lights there. But when I saw what I could do and how I could tell stories, that was it. I was like, I love it. And this is my 20th year in business.
That is awesome. That's right. Can we give a what? 20 years in business.
20 years in business.
All right. So I know everyone wants to know, you make the shift from being a modeling actress to photography. What makes a photographer successful in telling that story behind the camera? What's the secret?
I think the secret is connection, empathy.
Okay.
Right. And I think having perspectives, and you get that from, I feel like I've traveled the world. And even if I've traveled the world, but if I had not, by meeting new people, seeing new ideas, seeing new cultures, being open to all of that, that is what inspires me and gives me different ways to see the same thing. So imagine if for 20 years you're photographing weddings, you would be like, oh my God, not another wedding. No, because every person is different. How they view the world is different. How I'm telling their story, even though the marriage story, the wedding story, but it's different, right? And what makes you have empathy is seeing what's important to the people that you meet.
Sure.
You know instantly what you need to photograph.
Joy Calloway, who is also from New York City, your homegirl, says opportunity and preparation and confidence all flowing together. Okay, so let's build on this. You are also a certified holistic coach.
All right.
Tell us about that.
All right. So, okay, here's another story. I get a lot of this from Simon. Let me tell you, just 2 encounters with him, as in listening to him speak. And I was like, that is my soul brother, because all of that is how I feel. So a long story, not too short, but this is what happened. One day I'm looking through a magazine. I see a race. And I said to my girlfriend, I'm kind of bored. I've done it all. Modeled, done that, dated celebrities, done that. Photographed celebrities, done that. I've done everything. And I'm looking at this magazine and I said, hey, there's a race to my girlfriend at Central Park. She says, oh, okay. And the ladies had on pink tutus. I'm an AKA. I love pink and green. I said, let's join the race. She said, sure. And I'm not a runner. I mean, I work out, but I was never a runner.
Wait, you just let's just get in the race.
I just thought it was boring. So I said, but I'm thinking, like, you know how you do those walks for Revlon or AIDS or any type of walk? I'm like, okay, so, maybe this is just like people just running up and down kind of thing. Yeah. Long story short, what happened was 10 days before the actual race, I remembered, hey, to my girlfriend, I said, hey, what happened to that race that we were doing? She said, I'm not doing it. I didn't sign up for it. I was like, what? Now I'd already paid my money. So I Googled, I went inside my emails, I found it, and it said blank, half marathon. I didn't know what a half marathon was. So I was like, half marathon, Googled half marathon. It said 13.1 miles. Now, everyone listening, this is where mind over matter, because to me, 13 is not a big number. 13 is not big. Can you stand here for 13 minutes? Sure. Can you do this for 13 minutes? Sure. because I wasn't a runner. 13 miles is a big deal. Let me tell you, 13.1 miles is a big deal.
Wow.
So then when I Googled it, it said how to train for it. I said, wait, I have to train for this? So I took everything it said about training and went on a treadmill for 9 days and ran on the treadmill. On the 10th day, I ran the Shape Marathon. And I finished the marathon in like 2 hours and some minutes. And I was like, oh my God, this was so much fun. I had no idea at the end that you got a medal. When I got the medal, it was it. It started this whole love of running for medals. And from that, people would see me posting. The same year, I ran my first New York marathon. I post everything about my journey. People asked about it, and it led me to say, let me start a business with helping women who were over 40, who wanted to stay in shape, who wanted to walk, run, whatever they wanted to do. And I went back to school and then I got certified. And what we do as a holistic coach means when you go to the doctor and you say your leg hurts, they look at your leg. They do take your blood pressure and your weight, but they look at your leg. And with holistic, and we're not doctors, but what we do is we look at your whole being. We look at your relationships. We look at how you eat. We look at how you sleep, your spiritual side of yourself. We look at everything and connect that together and give you helpful ways to guide you to where you want to go. Most of the time, the reason you're eating food or the wrong food or you feel like you're off is it doesn't necessarily have to do with the food, but it's what's deeper inside of you. So it's looking at the entire person to keep moving forward in a positive direction.
That's so good. Wow. Next question, and building on this certified holistic coaching, you've successfully navigated brand and business. What is one piece of advice about business or entrepreneurship you wish you had when you started?
Entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. Okay? So you have to be tenacious, resilient. And I would say the piece of advice that I have, it's not one, it's many, but one of them would be, and we hear it, and I know it's a cliche, but you know the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy's like to the good witch and she says like, oh, I want to go home. And she's like, you've had the power all this time. You have the power. You have to believe in yourself. You're not starting this business on a willy-nilly. You're starting this business because you believe that whatever you have to do will serve the world. You have to stand on it. You have to stand by it. You have to believe that you can do it. And I would say that I had that. I had the fortitude and I had the vision. I would say that the one piece of advice I would have, and people go back and forth in this, would be to borrow money. I invested in my business myself. And as a business person, I didn't understand what it meant to have good debt. Right. So I would say, like, it's good to have capital to start your business. It won't take you 10 years to get the best website you can get, because now 10 years later, you got the money and, you can just start off like, okay, I got A, B, and C. And then from there, the other piece of advice I would say is connections matter. People matter. Right. Stay and connect with people. When you meet someone, see what you can do to help them. A lot of my journey, 99%, before Instagram, before LinkedIn, before Facebook existed, there was Regina, okay? And what I would do was,
that is so good.
Connections. 99% of the people that came to my business was referrals. I thank every single person who's ever worked with me because they referred 10 people, they referred 10 people, and that's how my business grew for 20 years.
Wow. So looking back at the last 20 years, I'm sure you have had to dig deep, and especially living in New York City, which has been shut down and then opened and then shut down over this last year. How in the world did you persevere and continue to move forward?
I'll say a couple of things, and I just had this conversation, so this is really easy. One of the things, I'm sorry, the hair has to be right. One of the things is my faith, right? My faith. And I was never like this. The thing that scared me most was losing people. But I feel like that is the worst case scenario. Anything else can be conquered. That's how I felt. Anything else. This is just work. This is just a business, right? So after we got over the initial shock, I would say that there's always one hair who doesn't want to act right. Take it back. Um, After the initial shock, I sat down and said, "What can I do?" And I gave myself grace. I wasn't sitting here 8 hours a day, all my clients canceled, right? All my clients as a photographer. I work with big name brand corporations. Nobody's going in the office. So this is a time to sit back, reset, reflect. Everything I teach my clients holistically, I had to apply it to myself. I started doing meditation for free every morning, 7 a.m. with people, random people. You want to join us on a Zoom and let's just meditate together. I started doing free workouts online, right? I think that the answer to things most of the time is to serve, give back, serve. On the other side, every grant available, I was like, well, let's see what's out there. Who's out there? I met so many people. I started attending all kinds of Instagram lives and meeting people that way, staying connected to people, sending them notes. That was a great talk. I enjoyed what you said, reading books, and resting. Resting.
Wow.
I always tell my clients, even holistically, like your brain cuts off at a certain time and you're just doing stuff to do it. You need to rest. You need to reset. And that's how I got forward, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step. And now we're here today.
That's so good. Everyone, if you have questions for Regina, please post them and I'll make sure that she sees them and that we ask her. But Regina, here's another question for you. What would you say you've learned about people in your years as a photographer, and what have you learned about life from holistic coaching?
Oh boy, you have the questions, don't you? So let's see. The first part of that question was photography. Well, I hope that there are a lot of women listening to this because this answer is directed to you. 99.9% of women who come in and they sit in front of me, the first thing out of their mouths is, oh my gosh, I hate my something. I hate my nose. I hate my shoulder. I hate my eyes. Women, stop that. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. And if you feel like something needs to change, then call me and let's work on changing that. But don't hate your body. Don't hate yourself, And then I'm working backwards trying to get them to feel good about themselves. And like, okay, let's work on this right now so that we can get that photograph because the camera does not lie and we go deep. So I would say for women, especially, I saw I could see a lot of insecurities and it was not necessary. It's not necessary. We women are very hard on ourselves and we need to just fall in love with ourselves again. And that's what I do, whether I'm a photographer or a holistic coach or doing fitness. I help women fall in love with themselves again.
Wow.
And with holistic, well, we can throw that in also. What was the part 2 of the question with holistic?
Yeah. So what have you learned about working with individuals in holistic coaching? What have you observed? What have you taken away when you're trying to get people to transform?
Okay, so this goes to men and women. Don't be mad at me because I love you. Stop giving up on yourselves. People come all the time because they say, oh, I want to lose weight. And I always say, especially when I'm training people, I'm like, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? How you do one thing and how you do everything. Side note story. I live near a food town. There's a young lady who comes in there every day. She has on a set of pearls. She has on her food town jacket. Hair is coiffed. Nails are done. Polite. Good morning. Good evening. I watched her for years as she worked there while she's going to school. When I had a party at my house, who did I hire and gave extra money? I said, do you mind coming to my party and helping me at my party? Because people, how you do one thing, I knew that would transfer into how she would behave here, and it did. So consistency is the number one reason that people can't lose weight. Because January 1st, you made an oath, you made this commitment to working out, which lasts into February 1st, and then you wonder why you gain the weight. Commitment is another reason. Dedication, right? So I ran all those marathons for 5 years. I got up at 5 a.m. and sometimes I would run 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Some mornings I run 4 hours when I'm in training for 5 years.
Wow.
Commitment, right? So these are the things, and I'm talking to you like adults, okay? Because we are. These are what you have to do. You have to be committed to the process. And the process may take years, but being committed. I love when I see before and afters and people like 3 years it took me to lose 180 pounds or whatever they had to do. You know, it took me 16 years to get my college degree. It is a process.
Wow.
Stay on the road, stay committed and dedicated to the process.
That's good. People are loving you. And one of the questions is for Jenny, where do you think confidence comes from?
I think a couple of places. One is a knowing, right? I'm going to speak as a Black woman on this one. If I listen to some people in the world about what Black is and what a Black person is, I would have no confidence, zero confidence. I would think that, you know, I would be this certain type of person. You know, I never believed that. I mean, I grew up in the church. I remember the pastor saying that God said I was wonderfully made and he knew every single hair on my head. And I remember hearing all of that, speaking life into yourself, right? You know, my house has a lot of mirrors. If we had time, I would count them for you. But it's about seeing yourself and believing in yourself. Like, we can't expect that to come from outside. It has to come from you. And you have to realize that just the mere fact that you exist today is a miracle, right? Because when you think about birth, one thing had to hit the other thing for you to actually be here. So there's a reason that you're here. And you need to step out of that reason. It's like, it's not a mistake that you're here. You're here for a reason, right? And the second thing is that I think that as you, like I said earlier, when you help other people, when you serve other people, and people are then saying like, oh my God, Simon is so wonderful. He's the man. You don't do it because of that, but that feeling it gives back to you, it has, you go from here to here to here to here to like, yes, yes, I am important. I have confidence. It's, yeah, you're right. You know, but I'm just saying that it is growth. And, you know, a lot of people write on their mirrors every day, like I am worthy. So let's just throw away the feeling that you're not, you shouldn't be here. You know, woe is me. No. Go inside, go get some red lipstick, put it on, and walk outside with your head up high. Oh, you can't do it now because of a mask. Get a mask, you know, that's cute. And get a mask that says, I'm cute. Don't you see me? I don't care. Do something and step out of the box and watch people's reactions. And, you know, but know that you are enough. Start practicing and doing things that you excel in, and your confidence will grow.
That's so good. Next question is from Crystal. When did you know you had a gift for helping people to accept and love themselves?
You know, it was innate. It wasn't, you know, they say people are looking for their purpose, right? And they're looking out here. Like, is my purpose over there? What there? I think it's over there. I don't believe that. I believe your purpose is in here. It is that thing that people that you can do that is so easy that you think it can't be that because I do it. Like, it has to be something that's hard. It doesn't have to be hard, right? So for me, I felt that, and you look back at your childhood sometimes, and you look at what did you love doing then, and you look at what did people always say about you, and people would say a couple of things about me. They were like, I was a storyteller. Right? Because I could tell you stories. I had two great English teachers, Miss Guerin, Mr. Yannick, thank you. And they just taught me how to tell a story. And the other thing was I liked being happy and having people around me feeling good and happy. And, you know, I watched how people react when you were thoughtful. And I have a very kind and thoughtful mother. And that just was innate. And I just kept doing it. And then as I would, as I started to get older and I would see how many people always felt down or had negative things to say about themselves, I was like, what person are you talking about? That's not how I see you. And then when I became a photographer, it was even worse. Now, before that, I was a model. And believe me, just because models are like these beautiful women, there were a lot of people who didn't. It wasn't this outer being that made them feel beautiful. It was internally, they didn't feel good. It's always from the inside to the outside.
What excites you about the future? What's on the horizon for you?
It's endless and limitless. And, I can't say what it is, but 3 days ago, I got a call from, so one more thing, people. We plant seeds. Everything we do is planting a seed. A seed I planted in 2017. 2017, right? A seed I planted in 2017 came back to me about 3 weeks ago. And from doing a photography job 3 weeks ago, led me to 2 days ago working, we're about to sign on the dotted line on one of the biggest jobs that I've ever done in my entire 20 years. So, listen, when you see something, go for it. If it's in your wheelhouse that you want to do this, go for it. So my future is endless, and I'm looking for greater opportunities. I'm looking to collaborate with people, to grow, to enjoy life again, to travel. There's still about 7 countries I want to go to at some point. I just want to continue seeing like my mom as she grows older, to be healthy and have all her mental. Little things make me happy. Listen, my mom living to over 100 and being happy and loving all of us is number 1 in my book. And then everything else is just gravy.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations on about to sign on the dotted line, the biggest opportunity ever. Everybody put congratulations in the chat, in the comment area. We want to congratulate you and celebrate you. But everyone, I hope you picked up on something that she said, that in 2017, she planted the seed. So many times we are looking what we can get from someone instead of what we can give to someone. And when we pay it forward in the spirit of reciprocity, what goes around comes around. When you least expect, that phone call comes. So what's the net takeaway? Every day show up. Have a smile in your eyes through the mask, joy in your heart, hands ready to work, hug people with your words. And all of a sudden, because of you doing the work, the opportunity will show up. Is that right? How important is doing the work?
The work. I did the work. I'm not joking. I did the work. The work is very important because you know what? A lot of people missed out now on PPP or different things, grants and stuff, because their paperwork wasn't ready, right? Because they didn't do the work in their businesses all these years, and now they're scrambling trying to get stuff. You didn't have a bio ready. You didn't have a photo ready. You didn't have an art project ready. Do the work.
That's it. Do the work. Let me just say hi to Keto and Deidre. Deidre, your soror says hello. Brooke, welcome. Glad you are here. Hey, Renee, Denise Fowler, so glad you're with us. So, all right. So, Regina, let me ask you this question. When you look at all that has happened for you and who you've become in the last 20 years and how you have like reinvented, like over 20 years, you're doing what you absolutely love to do. How do you want to be remembered? Like when people say, this is Regina Fleming, how do you want to be remembered?
I would say as a servant of God first.
Okay.
A phenomenal daughter, sister, friend, soror second. As a leader for young women, because I've mentored like hundreds of young women, and I would hope they would all be there with a kind word for me. As a fun, artistic, creative, intelligent woman who used everything she had to serve others. Yeah, that'd be
Wow,
great.
that's good. That's good. Now, we cannot end this time. And by the way, if you have a question, we're going to end in a few minutes, but if you have a question, post it. You have captured photos of amazing people and businesses and opportunity, and you may not be able to mention it, but
You're so excited.
do you have a favorite photo session of a client or an experience that absolutely just blew you away?
Oh my God, can I say this? I think it's been years, so I could say it. Okay, so the wonderful, the elegant, my mentor, Susan Taylor, formerly of Essence Magazine. So I grew up reading Essence Magazine, and I loved Essence Magazine so much. And when I was a model, the first time I worked at Essence Magazine as a model, I was blown away. And I think I must have worked in Essence as a model, I don't know, like 30 times. I mean, they even put out a book on fitness before I was like where I am now, and I'm on the cover of the book. But when I met Susan Taylor, I was like in awe of Susan Taylor. And then I became a photographer and I photograph for Essence. So now you see it's coming around. I'm a model for Essence. I was a photographer for Essence. And then Susan Taylor, I told her she was always the mentor in my head. And then Susan Taylor and I became friends, and she became a mentor to me. So one day she said, Regina, anything she asks you, you follow. She said, I'm having something at my home and I want you to come and photograph it. And all I say is, what time? And I show up, and she says, go in the back into my bedroom, and you can like put your purse down there. And I walk in her bedroom, and there's Oprah Winfrey sitting on her bed.
Come on. Come on.
So I proceeded to photograph Oprah, and I was like, oh my God. So that right there was like
Wow.
everything. So, and another one I would say was when I photographed Desmond Tutu.
Wow.
Yeah, I photographed him twice, and the second time he remembered me, and he sent me a lovely letter. So things like that, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
You have helped so many today. Keto says she was just released from the hospital with COVID complications. So Regina is right on time. Thank you, Regina, for what you're sharing.
You feel better soon. Thank you for the kind words.
Yes, and then there is Regina. Keep on inspiring us all. Girls and boys are watching. Look at you. You are just doing it. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
So here's the last bit for everyone. And hi, Sherry. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. And Siga, so good to see you. Siga and I were in Kampala, Uganda last year. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. So what is the one question you wish that I would have asked you that I didn't ask you? If there was just one question.
If there was one question, let's see. I mean, you asked it in a way. I guess I would say, what does being, and you didn't, no, and it's okay. Like, I don't know. Two questions came to mind, but I guess one would be like, what does success feel like to you? One of those type of questions, and
so Regina, what does success feel like to you?
It's kind of like the answer to the other question you asked me about what you want people to say about me. People think success is money. Listen, I love money. I love nice things, but I think it's the journey to success that makes you successful, right? It's the journey. Who are you becoming on that journey, right? So I'm becoming smarter. I'm taking all these classes, all these certifications. I'm becoming kinder. I'm seeing that, you know what? I need to think before I speak, or I'm becoming, more service oriented, or I'm just becoming in that process, as Michelle Obama said, becoming. So I think that is what it means to me. It's like that growth that you see as you keep going and you keep moving. And the world is always changing. And if this pandemic has taught you nothing else, it has shown us how we want to be interconnected with each other. It shows us what's most important in our lives. You know, I don't think that when all of this started, people were like, well, let me get my Louis Vuitton. You know, I have nothing against Louis Vuitton. I'm just saying, people were like, oh my God, I haven't hugged my mother. Like, a hug feels so good. You know, I miss a hug. It's the little things that we just discard, or, you know, we're like, oh yeah, we'll do it at another time, that becomes important. And I think that's what the journey of success is. It's not the greed anymore. It's more meaningful and deeper connections and things like that.
Wow, this is so good. Thank you so much. Everyone, please, let's just celebrate Miss Regina Fleming. Please follow her on social media. Go to her website. Megan, let's promote Regina's website so everybody knows where to go. And listen, Susan Taylor is a deep well. And the well that you drink from is the well that you think from, and eventually it's the well that you become. So we see Susan Taylor in you, but it's really Regina Fleming, because you have been drawing from that well to become who you are today. So we couldn't have picked a better person to celebrate International Women's Month. And I just want to let you know and say publicly, I celebrate you. I appreciate you. Every time our paths have ever connected, you have always been kind. You have rooted me on, and you've made me believe in me when my belief was missing. So you literally gave a brother a little kickstart. To keep hope alive. So thank
you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. You know how I feel about you and all these wonderful people. Thank you for your comments that I can't see, but I heard. And one more thing I want to say. So my Instagram is I am Regina Fleming. Fleming has one M, okay? No S. One M, no S. So I am Regina Fleming. Join me there. I promise you I'll start giving you some tips and stuff, but just come anyway. And thank you for following this great man. He always has a word in season, a word of the moment. And his personality, if you're feeling down, he will pull you out of the grave, okay? So thank you again. I appreciate this time we spent together.
Thank you, my friend. Take care. And take care, everybody. Remember, we are so happy you joined us here. We love you. We believe in you. And there's not a darn thing you can do about it. Take care.